So what will this policy achieve that the Electoral Act and the requisite laws have not addressed?
Well, you see, the policy will clearly state out, those areas that may not have been captured by the Constitution, and a peace policy will encompass a moral guide. It's more or less of putting together a moral guide that's agreed by all of us to guide the conduct of men in office, out of office, in the marketplace and other public spaces.
If I recall, before the postponement of the election, you also warned concerning soft targets and even changing their modus of operation. And you talked about, possibility of livestock being used to, cause mayhem. Are we still on that? What is the security agency doing on that? And how are the people, especially in areas where most of these livestock are taken to, how are they handling that particular caution?
I read in the papers, I've not been around to review security intelligence information that come to me, that I think the insurgents went to, was it Bagata or Konduga, with livestock and all of those. They used that as shield. So, and it took the vigilance of citizens and volunteers as well as security forces to identify that this is really a moving explosive on 4 legs. And so you see, evidently, what we said almost came to pass in Konduga. And that is why we insist that we will not join the political explanation. A lot of people want to explain what we say based on some political considerations. We have refused to join the fray. It is what we know, we say. What we don't know, we insist we don't know, we will not say it. And that is why we advise Nigerians to take seriously advisories from the center and from government sources.
And that advisory is that when you see animals close to the polling units, you should be afraid.
No, right? No. What would animals come to do at the polling station in the school? They should be grazing somewhere. So you see people just herding animals to a grazing center, then when they are supposed to be voting.
I think Malcolm has a point, because if you now see a stray animal.
Exactly, a stray animal.
Well, that is why...
a dog or chicken, whatever it is you see close to your polling unit.
No, that is why the advice is for citizens who have these things to take care of them, to put them in enclosures. And the security agencies, the police, and so forth and so on. We've always had the reports of arrests of goats and so forth and so on. So very soon, some of these things will be taken seriously. They have an obligation to ensure that these things don't go there.
But one thing that,
and the areas are protected.
Last week, I think you were also on air talking about highly placed people, influential people, looking out for their words, looking out for their children, because ISIS is recruiting. Only this morning we saw the story on the front page of the Vanguard. Did you get intelligence to that effect, or is it something you're suspecting could happen?
No. We had even, I think in December or thereabout, or early January, we had sounded the warning that, the advisory that intelligence had on record that some 2 or 3 South Africans were recruited by some agents of ISIS to recruit fighters for them across the world or in Africa. And so we had advised Nigerians to be mindful of people who will come and offer you visas for schooling abroad, in Pakistan, in Egypt, in most of these places. Because they come first, lure you with entry visas, there is school or there is job and so forth and so on. You join, go out, then you find there is no job. The only job available is training to be a fighter for ISIS. So we had done that. Then this intelligence reoccurred again that something is happening even in the direction of Nigeria. So we needed to advise citizens, especially children of the affluent. I think that was the word we used. Affluent and influential citizens of Nigeria who have access to some of these things. So yesterday when I saw this story in online, I tried to place a call to connect this with what we thought and to confirm the veracity of the story. And we need to get the full story of what is and what has happened. But if it is true, well, it is just confirming what we said it was likely to happen with Nigerians and the need for Nigerians, all of us.
But again,
to be
off the
concerned.
cuff, affluence, what has it got to do with this? Is it by way of sponsorship?
They have access to facilities. Their children, some of them, their children are abroad. Some, you know, like I said, they have access to the computer, to internet all the time. And the media, the online media now has become a veritable platform for recruiting people from all manner of things, including terrorism activities.
Is this something that the Nigerian government is going to be investigating? Those kinds of websites, perhaps, you know, people can be put on alert that these are the kind of websites we're seeing. You know, if you see indications like this, be careful.
Oh, yes.
Perhaps an outright shutdown. So
Yeah,
people
no.
say will not be out of place.
No, we will. Citizens' responsibility is key. Government will continue to investigate. Government will intervene where necessary and advise citizens. All we need at this moment is increased cooperation and unity of purpose. We need the understanding of citizens based on the assurance that their government is doing something to ensure that cities and citizens are safe and secured. Whether online media terrorism or the kind that we see of Boko Haram terrorism and so forth and so on. Government is committed and is working hard to ensure that it eliminates these threats.
From the look of things, given the ongoing scenario, the operations in the Northeast, and at the moment, with the way things are going, do you think that there will be any reason whatsoever for the elections not to hold on the rescheduled dates?
I have no doubt that we have always consistently said that the Nigerian Armed Forces, the government of Nigeria has capacity. We needed capability to reinforce what we are doing. And we are getting the capability now in terms of additional skills, in terms of hardware and so forth and so on. And the successes commensurate with what we are getting are being reported. So I have no reason whatsoever to think that security will be a major challenge to the extent that we will not be able to conduct these elections based on the outcome of the exercises taking place at the moment. And the president is consistently saying this, that elections have to be conducted. He was committed to it in 2011. He got it. At least it was reported as a fairly credible, free election that we've had. So if we've had that and we have a series of other elections and they were still adjudged fairly credible and improvement on the previous ones, I expect that this will be free, will take place, will be free and even more credible than what we had. Because that was one of the promises he made to his countrymen. That is an embarrassment that you are asked, as a giant of Africa, that you cannot conduct a fairly credible election in your country.